Right, and now it's time for the seventh part of this song breakdown series. So, if you don't know what I've been doing during the past kind of month or so, is I've been breaking down one by one the songs on my album and kind of giving deep thoughts, not even into just what the song is about, but also my feelings around the time, kind of words, and kind of just I've got a huge tangents about stuff. So I'm kind of going in some sort of order, not in the exact order, but I'm kind of doing the songs I did earlier on first. And I thought that I'd do this one next, Waves Rewritten, which was it's another love song. I know I did Reverse last week, but don't worry, that's all the love songs done now, with the exception of Scared to Love Again, but that's a bit of its own thing, and that's going to come a bit later. And Waiting for Mistletoe, and Warn You, depending on how you look at it. But yeah. So Wave Rewritten is a bizarre song. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna. It isn't one of my favourites. It is a filler thing, but I wanted to do another Waves because it made sense, and I'm kind of keeping up the trend. I do another Almost Fallen on this as well, and because I did another Be Stronger on the last album, and then the next album I'm going to do another Find Your Way, I believe, and that's kind of the theme that I'm going for. So, Waves Rewritten is an in-name only song. It shares nothing in common with the OG Waves, except the kind of hook. It's still the word Waves, the song's still called Waves, and that's it. And it's the same instrumentation, but the themes, thematicness, the kind of feels, the storyline is completely different. And this is a depiction of the love story. But I feel like Reverse and Bandage were more raw because they kind of I wanted to actually step back and take a look at the whole story and kind of take the wholes of it. And if it was my way, I would have done a whole album dedicated, and I could have done a whole album dedicated to the story and given every minute detail. But I didn't find that necessary. There was other stuff I wanted to talk about, and I think it made sense for it to be a short sort of arc. So I wanted to do some kind of tailing the story. So yeah, um, words can words can't express how I felt that night. Burst of joy squeezed my quilt so tight. What once impossible would come to life. But a total shift has happened. Somebody switched the scene. After all the months of listening, someone supplied my dream. What never meant to be became my reality. And even after you establish clarity, my static nature don't need to be carefree. So the whole of backstory, and I've gone on a bit about this in reverse, was that I had a crush on someone. They didn't like me back. That was difficult for me to kind of. I still tried to maintain that friendship and pet normal. It was so hard because I was very much in love, but down the line, big shock. They like me too now. After I've kind of spent the last 3 or 4 months really trying to move on, really trying to move, and that was a difficult process for me, and it kind of came out of nowhere. But then out of nowhere, you know what? I should have been angry, but I wasn't because it was my dream. It was all I thought about for about 6 months, and it had come true. It was reality. It was real, and that was that was the truth. So yeah, but then they kind of told me, well, I want to move past you. I don't actually want to be with you. I want to get rid of these feelings. But like, even just the thought that they thought of me like that was enough for me. I didn't need a relationship. I just needed the fact that someone actually wanted me was unbelievable for me, and that was a real feeling. So yeah, but quickly an overwhelming fear that if I may once slip a close up here, the store I focused on for an entire year, knowing that my future was clear. Um, but pretty quickly that kind of ecstatic feeling kind of went off because like it's true that I focused on this for a whole year because I was so scared that like what now that they like me, I've got to hold up some sort of standard. I've got to uphold to some sort of you know standard because I know how quickly I don't want to lose that feeling. I knew it was inevitable. I knew it wouldn't last long, and I tried to hold on, but I was so scared. So I was really calculated in every move I made. I overthought every word that I said, and it was scary. And then like no, my luck, the future was clear. I just knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. Despite all the dread, I pulled full steam ahead. Those 5 weeks were a hand of God, truly chef kiss. As I do about, is that a miss? At the time, I failed to recognise what had broke before my eyes, but obviously I watched it all of my wasn't granted the film happened overnight. That shaken thing that I could have died. Just letting me petrified. You don't want to think those things trying the boys help you stay alive. And yeah, 5 weeks. The length of the school term pretty much was how long it lasted. And it was incredible. It shouldn't have been incredible, and it was toxic, and it was playing with me. It was toying. It was horrible, and I realised that. But at that time, I was naive. I didn't realise what it actually was. I didn't know the reality. I just played along with it. I just played the story, and I missed it at the time. And I do miss it now. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest. Those 5 weeks were incredible. I loved having the idea that someone loved me back, and there was this butterfly feeling. There was this incredible thing, and but slowly that feeling wavered, and out of nowhere, they started hating me again, and and they kind of just started ignoring me with no explanation. Slowly, we kind of fell apart because it was clear at one point that they didn't care for me anymore. Um, yeah, and I did, at that point, I really considered taking my own life, and I did tell them about that, and they did actually step up and try and help me and come out of the shadows, and I always did appreciate it, and they did these things where they, that one day they were ignoring me, and the next they would actually be doing an amazing thing, and it was so hard for me to do that. And the chorus is waves you let the waves leave you, and it's kind of that feeling. Then I carried on to summer, no connection, trace or sign. Finding many moves down the line, I hear her voice for the very first time. As I come back, she has a new guy. I just sit in the corner pretending I'm fine. So I disappear for the summer. They don't speak to me for an entire summer. 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever. I think it was about 9 because they didn't speak to me in the last 2 weeks of the school year as well. And that was difficult. And they had their reasons, they had their accusations, but and eventually they do show up. They confront me on something that was really nothing, and we start talking again, laughing, joking like we used to, and then they tell me they've got a new partner. And I was happy. And in that moment, I was happy for them, obviously, because I had to be. It would have been arrogant, it would have been rude, it would have been ridiculous for me to, because I cared for this person so much that I wanted them to be happy. And I think if they would have been more happy with this person than me, and I know some of the relationship troubles that they had in the past, and they loved someone as well who just did not love them back, and they struggled with that, and that's how we kind of became close in the first place, and it was that sort of idea. Then verse 2. 5 months later, I'd like to say it's past. I want to say that, but eventually I received a blast. All the gain, the habit I could attain have been unchanged. I look back at who I was and cringe when the sport to break down wins. The worst part is absolutely key. I know she's happy without me. Like, consider therapy would make her more happy. Make her cry. If you could train one more day to let the past replay, give me one shot, I'll probably lose. But at least I'm content, not confused. No one can understand how I need you. Waves come go just to phases this far from the trending crazy. I had to put that opening line as the last line of the song. It just made sense. So I think, yeah, I I look at them now, and it isn't the same what we had, but I think it is better that way. I think they're happier and I'm happier, and it's so heartbreaking in the sense that it was so close to being something beautiful, but it, it didn't work, and that was the worst bit. But I think the best part is that I am over it now. I have moved on. I wrote this 5 months after that summer. This is almost a year on from that summer now, and I have no feelings anymore. No, not one feeling for them at all. You know what I mean? I don't like anyone currently because I don't need to, and I've kind of come to that realization that love is a waste of time. At least at my age, at my predicament, I know when I can search for it. But now I've got 2 years to sort out education to do the best I can to hopefully pass my GCSEs. Bloody shuffle off a day. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. And the next breakdown I'm gonna do, I think, is waiting for mistletoe. See you then.